knows? I should probably get my link up. Get your link up. What am I doing? Can you guys hear that bird? I swear to God, this bird is driving me nuts. He will not leave my house. He like sits outside and bitches all day long. His baby, I don't know, it's a long story, but I think something happened with the bird's baby and it's not coming back, and the bird doesn't understand that. The neighborhood cats had a baby bird that I found outside, and I put it up in a tree, and I think it fell back out because I found it, Gus found it a few days later underneath a bush. The bird was still alive. I set him up high in the bush, but I don't think they saved him. He's not there now, and the cats probably found him and killed him. I don't know. But the bird won't leave. The bird's like out there reminding me, have you seen my baby? He keeps shaking a milk carton at me. I'm like, whatever. I don't know, I couldn't put it back on the tree. I don't know which tree it originally fell from or where the cats got it from. Anyways, that's the story of my life. Is that exciting? Try not to get overwhelmed by the sheer magnitude of the world. Hey, Dorothy Baxter, how are you? So I'm just sitting here talking to myself, basically. Hey, Karen Stringer, how are you? I think the cat and bird just left, but it was like in the backyard, and whenever the dogs go out there, it gets really like weird and starts chirping really loud. It's this sort of weird black bird. It's not, I don't know what kind of bird it is, but I think it's the parent of that baby bird. And I didn't know what to do for the baby bird. Hey, Mary, how are you? So I put it up in their tree. It fell out of the tree. 2 days later, it was underneath a bush in the backyard. Gus had found it and was like licking it. I was like, ugh, Gus, gross. I kiss you with that mouth. And so I put it back up into another bush, like in more of a bush, right underneath the tree where I think they were all like squawking and squabbling and freaking out. So I think that's the tree that it either fell out of or the cats got it out of there. I'm not sure how the bird got down out of the tree. So I put it underneath there where the birds could see it. But then we had a big rainstorm yesterday. He could have gotten rained out again. I don't know what. I haven't seen the baby bird since. So, but the parent bird is like, needs to go to, I don't know, CPS or something, or CBS, Child Bird Services, or BPS, that's it, Bird Protective Services. Wow, that's a really nice hair look for me. Whatever, I could care. Not wanting to go to work. Where do you work, Dorothy? Hey, Mary Clinton, how are you? Oh, I just got off of work. Kind of wiped, to be honest. Hey, Vicky, how are you? I know, I felt bad for the baby bird, but I didn't know what to do with it. I didn't know, like, it didn't have all of its feathers yet. And it was like, it also had some weird growth on its back that I don't know if that was from the cats doing something to it. I don't know. There's this tomcat that lives in the neighborhood that I think originally pulled it down, because when I heard there was a cat fighting out back, I went out there and then the bird was on the ground and it was just a big mess. I was like, oh God. I don't know if the cats were fighting over the bird or what. At CBRF, I don't know what that is. Child bird, reflective. I don't know. I'm good. I'm just, I got up at 4:30 this morning. I was a little tired. I'm a little tired right now, but I'm okay. I've just been working a lot. And at 5:30, I have to go to this thing for a friend that's going to probably last till like 7:30 or longer. So I thought I should do this early versus later because I'll probably be too wiped out by that point. So that's why I'm getting on. Oh, you work in a nursing home. Okay. Cool. That might be kind of fun, actually. I mean, it's hard work, but I kind of like older people. They're kind of cool to be around. They know a lot. They've seen a lot. I'm gonna stop yawning. I'm sorry, guys. Tammy's back in Facebook. Y'all, like, one of you gets out and then the other one goes in. I don't understand what's going on there. Y'all are up to no good, Mary. I don't know what you guys are posting out there in Facebook. I mean, I landed in Facebook jail a couple times myself, so. But that was from, I don't know, over posting my videos and stuff. Yep, community, that's what she said. It's like a nursing home. So Marge Smith's community-based residential facility, maybe. And the residents are fun, but the staff. You're usually a week apart. That's good, Mary. My dog is like right underneath my feet. Oh, today's Gus's birthday, by the way. That's another fun, exciting thing. So everybody got lunch meat for lunch today. I mean, they got their regular food, their dog food, but they got slices. When I made a sandwich today, everybody got slices of Black Forest ham. So it was a big deal. Big deal around here. Everybody was like freaking out. They were like, oh my God, what is this? I was like, it's Gus's birthday, guys. Hey, Caroline Jane, how are you? Hey, Andrew, how are you? Yeah, Gus is the big 5. He turned 5 today. May 2nd is his birthday. Little Taurus that he is. Did you want a card or a charming, Dorothy? Which kind of reading did you want? Did you want cards or did you want Black Forest ham matters? Oh, Jesus, Andrew. Too soon. Carolyn, I'm not doing free cards tonight. It's purchased readings. If you want to purchase, there's a link. I can put it in the chat. It would be $25 either readings or charmings, card readings or charmings. Or if any of my Patreon subscribers want to get their charming or card reading, excuse me, they can do that. God, I need to wake up. All right, we're going to have some soda because I'm just a little bit sleepy. And that's no bueno. I think it's once I shut off that computer, because I sit at that computer all day and I don't do much of anything right now. It's rather quiet, but it's just kind of like sitting there waiting. Like, charm readings, there's tons of videos on my YouTube channel. It's when I do charmings where I throw charms and sort of tell you what I think is going on from whatever the charms are and where they kind of fall and how they interconnect. So it's a big box of like different stuff in the box, like little metal charms, dice, Scrabble tiles, things like that. And I throw them on a board and then they land and then I kind of talk about what I feel like they're saying to me. I know it sounds weird, but that's what I do. Card reading. Okay. No, charm reading. She's changing her mind. Dorothy, are you sure? Charm reading on your career? All right, let's get it set up. I didn't set up the box. Give me 1 second and I'll set up the box. It'll just take a moment because I wasn't sure the last time we did a card night or a charm night, it sort of turned into a card night. So I wasn't sure how you guys would want to do it. All right. Move all this stuff out of the way. Don't mind my mess. Where can I put this? Right here, maybe. This was kind of weird. I found this right here. It's a bobby pin, and it was literally on the carpet there. And I walk across that carpet probably, I would say 6 or 7 times a day easily. And I've never seen this bobby pin. It was just sitting there in the middle of the room the other day. And I was like, wait, what? So I'm not sure how that came about. I almost thought it was like a materialization. Although, you know, I've worn a wig or two in my day, but I haven't in many years. So I don't know why a bobby pin would be laying down on my rug. It was kind of odd that it was there. I thought it was odd that it was there. It was sort of like sitting right there in the middle of the rug, like plain as day. When I walked in here, I was like, wait, what? And nobody's been in the house other than me for a couple of weeks at least. So I was like, where did that come from? But whatever. All right, so it was just strange the where it was laying on the floor. I was like, that's weird. But who knows? Maybe the puppy found it somewhere and was doing his hair. I have no idea. All right, so we're gonna do. So Lynn, you're about to see one actually, because Dorothy's just paid for one. So I'm gonna give her a charming on her career right now. She wants me to look at her career. So my cat turns 19 on May 20th, which is his gotcha day. Don't know his actual date of birth, but he's a good boy. Oh, that's when you got him? That's cute. All right, so let's see. What does Dorothy need to know about her career? Okay, so let's look. First, we always pull the letters first, the Scrabble letters out. So we've got an A, oh wow, we've got an R, and we've got a T. And it's funny because I was gonna say that there's somebody that I don't really like that's right here in this rubber snake. The rubber snake always indicates to me like there's somebody that's not working in our best interest or kind of mucking things up. They're not like a huge problem, but they can be sort of painful or an annoyance. Certainly, but it's not, and that to me is something like that's more of a watch out symbol. But I wonder, it makes me wonder if you might have, like, say, a coworker or a boss that's a right pain in the ass that you're dealing with currently. The bull in the center here that's being surrounded by this, that could be Taurus energy. It could also just mean that like there's a little bit of stubborn energy when dealing with this person or this situation. Whatever it is, it kind of gets under your skin and bothers you a little bit. Ganesh is here. He's upside down and he's sort of moving towards the past. I feel like this may have been something that was beneficial and good for you at one point in time, as far as maybe the job that you're in now, or you've sort of felt like you've had better luck in career in the past. It's been a while though, I'd say, that since you've maybe loved what you do or felt like really inspired by it, and you miss that. Part of the reason why I feel that not only is because Ganesh is upside down, but I also love that we have this meditated body up here, sort of in the present space, higher mind area. And so when I look at this, and it's right next to the King of Pentacles, which would be about the creator of money, right? Or opportunity, financial opportunity, well-being, that sort of thing. I feel like quite possibly you might be like the rock or the anchor in most work situations, even when things are a problem. I get that also from not only the King of Pentacles, but also from this meditative person. I feel like that you want to be connected to whatever it is that you do. And I don't mean like just, yeah, we all want to be connected, but I mean like more, say, spiritually connected. There's this one up here in the like sort of higher mind, but in the past, I feel like it's kind of edging between the red dice represent for me sometimes love, sometimes anger. And when I'm looking at this, I kind of feel like there might have been a desire a long time ago where you placed yourself first and you actually loved what you did, or you were able to love what you do. Now it sort of kind of lingers as this place of frustration or maybe anger. I don't know if you take it out on yourself, because I'm still looking at that number 1 in the dice. It's still making me come back to you. But I feel like you make the best with what you have to offer or what you're dealing with now, right? And you are stronger than whatever you're dealing with. So if there's office politics or there's bullshit going on where, no pun intended with the bull charm right here, but if there's bullshit going on in the office or where you're dealing with in your current career space, you kind of probably, with this meditative person, you probably sort of just center, zone it out, deal with it. I feel like there's a couple of different meanings here. Like one is that, yes, I want to be spiritually connected, centered, and grounded and do all of that and be sort of the rock for people. But I also want to be sort of connected to what I do and inspired by what I do. And so this rests on the courage stone. I want to see what this stone is. It says, if you believe in yourself, anything is possible. This is in the higher mind in the future, and it's flipped over. And I think part of the reason why that is because you haven't gotten to this point yet. Right? You need to sort of believe that there's other things out there for you. There's other things available to you, but we got to get to this future period, right? Now, because I split this into like, we've got the present in the center, the past, and then the future on the board. I'm just explaining that for, I think it's Lynn. I can't remember who asked, but whoever asked. So, let me see here. So down here, we have some more tarot coins. So I'm just going to flip them really quick. We have the, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of Swords. We have the 5 of Pentacles. We have, is this the 10? No, the 8 of Wands. Is this the 8? 1, 2, 3. 8 of Wands. The sun token that's upside, like up, face up. And then, so what I'm going to say about these 3 when I flip these over, these 2 here are in the future, right? We're more towards the future. These here in the present, I feel like there's a definite fear, there's a worry, and you don't deal with it or you don't look at it. There's a financial fear here with this 5 of Pentacles here and the 9 of Swords. When they're both flipped over like this, it's kind of like we don't want to deal with that, or we don't want to go back there, right? And this is sort of down in your subconscious, right? Because we have the subconscious, the conscious, and then that super conscious mind, right? So when I look at these 2 here, they make me feel like they're kind of bordering on the subconscious and the conscious mind. And so we have these thoughts in the back of our head that are fear-based, possibly, about if I make too many changes, I don't know what I could end up with. That's also why we see this courage charm here, right? Because it's going to require us to muster up the courage to actually make a change if we want to move forward and be connected in the way that I feel like this is. Ultimately, I feel like this charm here is a big blessing, just the way that it's positioned dead in the center and in between the conscious mind and the higher mind. It is saying that there's a dialogue taking place within you where I think that you want more. And what I mean by more is, like, again, being spiritually connected to whatever it is that you do, feeling centered, all of that sort of stuff. And you will go about probably creating that with that King of Pentacles here. But down here, it's like you're kind of fighting down in the depths of, maybe you've come from places where, or situations where you've made the wrong decision, or you've been financially in trouble in the past. And so that's why these are kind of flipped over. It's not that they're actually going on, but they're like sort of things that are lurking in the back of our mind or in our subconscious that kind of stop us from moving forward. You have the Lovers charm here, the like coital lovers, and they're over this, what I call, this is sort of the hardened heart, right? It looks like it has a bunch of scars on it. Battle wounds, scars, things like that. And sort of this says to me, or what I think this is about, is some of this stuff that you put up with now in your career, or the situations that you do here, it kind of mimics a little bit maybe into your relationships, possibly your romantic relationship. This would be way down in the subconscious, but I wonder if you're holding on to things more so to protect others that you care about than your own self, right? Like these fears of, if I go and quit, could that put us into financial turmoil, or throw our game off, that sort of thing. That the Lovers there sort of makes me think that that might be a factor for you. And then this hardened heart here, it almost kind of, the fact that it's flipped over, it almost feels like I don't know, like there possibly, and don't take this the wrong way, Dorothy, but I think possibly there might be something that you've forsaken for your own self. And the reason why I say that is that takes me back up to this number one that's up here in the corner, kind of lurking, this sort of love slash anger dice, right? Like I feel like it represents both sides of that spectrum, both the love aspect and maybe being angry with ourselves. If there's something that we forsook or put off for, I don't even know if forsook is a word, but if we put something off, set ourselves on the back burner in a way, to maybe keep the status quo in our relationship or to keep somebody else happy, I feel like maybe a sacrifice is somewhat taking place. I know that that's not necessarily a career reading, but maybe you've done that somewhere in your career space or in an effort to sort of, make sure ends get met and that sort of a thing, and to be the stable provider that I think you are, that we see up here. You might not necessarily put your own desires or what you want first. Does that make sense? And so I just want to call that out or like point that out to you, because I think that's what these are trying to tell me. And this is sort of like something you maybe don't verbalize or share a lot. It's down in the subconscious. So what we have going on here is this Eight of Wands was flipped over. The Eight of Wands usually indicates fast movement, which I like that. And it can indicate sometimes like a love letter or, something that where, a message coming quickly, right? And Wands being that element of fire is and not only the element of spirit, but it's also the element of desire and taking action. And so when I see this here, even though it's flipped over, I feel like action will be taken, action towards the spirit. It might be slow at first is my feeling, but I feel like it will get you moving and get you going in the right direction. And then we have the sun coin here, which is upright. Sun is always affirmative, positive. It can be like a new dawn is taking place in the future in your conscious mind. It will be obvious to you, but you kind of have to maybe get the courage, get the gumption to sort of not allow your fears to sort of lead you. I kind of feel like, and I'm not saying that your fears are leading you, but I feel like these two here are kind of sitting here holding you back, even though they're not things that you maybe like think about all of the time. They may just rest in the back of your mind. And even though this is about love and caring for somebody else possibly and making those decisions around that person in sacrifice, maybe for the relationship or for the greater good of the two or whatever is going on here, it's still sort of like you're kind of putting something of your own on hold somewhere here. I think that that's going to shift and change though, only because I like the meditative person. I like the King of Pentacles. It's like realizing how strong and what a provider we can be enables us to access the courage that we need to move forward. And then this says, if you believe in yourself, anything is possible. And I think that when we get to that future, this is in the higher mind, we start to let go of some of this fear stuff and we start to take action and move towards what it is that we want in our career space that fulfills us spiritually. The sun shines that light on it, right? We get that positive affirmation from the energy of the sun card. It's definitely an affirmative, new opportunities, new pathways, all of that stuff opens up. The sun is also associated with the sign of Leo, which is very generous and abundant and all of that. So I think that it's just a matter of time before stuff shifts into a direction where hopefully you're free of whatever this might be, which is, to me, it appears more to be annoying than anything else. Yeah, Rose, I do. If you're still here, I'm sorry, I just saw your message. And thank you for upgrading your Patreon. So if you want to cash your May in today, Rose, you can. Because when you upgraded from the 777 to the 33, the 3333, you get a charming every month. So if you want to get your May charming, you certainly can. Hey, Tina Charlie, how are you? And there's nothing, so like, and that's what this is about down here. There's nothing wrong with that, but I feel like some of the choices I feel like this is sort of, I don't know if this is actually a reality, these two here, the Nine of Swords and the Five of Pentacles, even though they're flipped over. I think that this might have happened to you in the past, right? And so sometimes we make decisions in our now based on sort of situations we've dealt with in the past. And in an effort to avoid these things happening again and keeping everybody safe, we kind of put our own desires on hold. And so that's kind of the vibe that I'm getting there. Thank you, Rose. Both the readings went out, so I don't know if you saw them yet. There's the monthly May Archangel reading, and then the relationship reading, the Cupid's love reading, which that was a strange one this month. I don't know if that's just for one specific person, but it was a very odd reading. We'll have to see what you think. Yes, Tracy, you can cash in yours. That would be fine. So I'm going to do Rose next and then Tracy. And for those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, for those of you that are, I'm talking to people on Facebook, but for those of you that might be watching over on YouTube, my Patreon page, folks that subscribe at the highest level, they get one free charming a month on any Sunday, or they can like trade it in for like, you know, cards or whatever they, you know, if they don't want a charming. So that's what they're doing. That's why they're asking. So just so you know, it's available to you all. It's on my Patreon page. You can follow me there and subscribe. And over there, there's the daily forecast goes up a day early, so people get to see it a day early. And then there's 2 other readings that go on over there, depending on the level that you choose, that go up monthly. All right, so does that make sense, Dorothy? If it does, I'm going to move on to Rose. Oh, and this rat thing, by the way, is a number 3, which to me is about the mind-body-spirit connection, which I feel like is maybe something that you might be attempting to create. We have certainly spirit here. We have the body here. The mind would be sort of in the 9 of Swords kind of space, all of that. But I do, and also we see it here, like if you believe, that's definitely the mind at play. What else do I want to say about this? I feel like there's a good balance of like stuff going on all throughout the board. Like we have stuff up in the higher mind, stuff in the middle mind, or the conscious mind, and stuff in the subconscious. And I don't feel like there's too many empty sort of spaces. It feels like evenly weighted, if that makes sense. I know that sounds silly, but sometimes I look at like how everything lays next to one another. Sometimes I get like information about the spaces too, like where there's no charms. It's weird, but whatever. All right, so I'm going to clear this then. Thank you, Dorothy. Thank you so very, very much for purchasing that. And Rose, you're up next. Do you want a charming? Yeah, Rose? And just give me a subject matter that you want me to focus on as I stir my frosted Lucky Charms. Okay, perfect. That's fine. And do you have a subject you want me to charm, or do you just want a general? See what comes out. Okay, so let's just do, don't tell me too much. Let me just look at what comes out. Oh, there's a letter stuck to my hand. Okay, so we've got a whole lot of stuff right in the center of the board. So that's okay though. So we have a 4, which is V. We have an O. And we have an E. Could be Evo, like evolution. So this is a 6. 6 is usually about bringing in things into balance. If that's the numerical value of these letters. This says not likely, but I'm not going to take that right now. I want to look at what's going on underneath. What I do see is there is the cat here is sort of, the way that I look at the cat is it's sort of like a domestic cat. I think it's funny that you would get the cat because I know that you and Marita love cats, right? And that there's also another couple here, the couple that are embracing, right? And they're kind of holding on in the center here. They're holding on to each other. They're in support of one another. I like that. I do feel like the scissors feel like something might need to be cut away, or we're trying to make a decision about what to cut away at this time. We have a guardian angel charm here. I want to see who this is and who's looking over you. I think, God, I can't read anymore. It's Raphael, which is good. He's the guardian angel of healing. His color is green. We have the 2 of Cups in the center. So I feel like this is also sort of significant of the bond that you and Marita have, and the fact that the 2 of you are maybe dealing with a lot of this stuff at the same time together. I like that both of you are sort of in it together. We see it here and we see it there, but this is turned upside down. Not that I feel like that's a bad thing. I just feel like you both might feel a little bit taxed at this time, but your focus is still on supporting one another. We have the star charm, which is Aquarius energy. This should be about peace. It is upside down, but it's face upright, right? So what I feel like this is about is the focus, maybe for the 2 of you, is about ideally sort of achieving this peace at some point. That's kind of the goal. The healing that Raphael will bring, that's also the goal. But I feel like there is a little bit of a jumble of charms all kind of configured in here. So let's see what this is. This is the 5 of Pentacles. So again, we see that again, but it was flipped over. I think, again, I'm going to say the same thing with it being flipped down like that. There could be money fears going on in the background, or worries about money or lack thereof, or not making enough money, making the wrong decision, that sort of thing. Again, I do think it might be affected by past experiences and just feeling challenged or worried. So that's going on there. Let me see what this is. This is the Devil, Capricorn energy. The Devil would indicate like wherever we're sort of weakest, wherever, like, the way that I kind of look at the Devil is he's kind of like the elephant in the room that nobody wants to talk about. Like, he's sort of the situation that nobody wants to deal with, or you know, if we're finding ways of escapism. For me, like like when I see the devil's like my laziness or my procrastination. That's definitely how the devil sneaks into my world, right? But he's not fully there because he's flipped over, right? He was face down. But I feel like it feels like a pressure, as if like he's nipping at your heels, if that makes any sense. And so that's kind of hovering in the background. And then we have the 7 of Pentacles, which is hard work. And that's flipped over. 7 of Pentacles also indicates patience. In a traditional tarot design, it's the guy that's holding the gardening tool, and he's looking at his pentacles growing on the vine, and he's kind of has to wait to harvest them. He had to put in all of this work to make it happen. And he still has to wait. It's not, we can't reap the reward too quickly, or else, you know, we screw up the crop, kind of thing. So let me just look at all of this for a second. I kind of feel like everything is sort of up for grabs, or a bit of a stress right now. The cat being upside down and face down, even the couple, although they're like in love and they're holding one another, they're in support of one another, everything's sort of twisted and turned upright, like upside down. It sort of feels jumbled, like there might be maybe too much on your plate. This says your dreams are attainable, but again, this is also flipped upside down. But it's face up, which says to me, like, we're working towards our dreams, but do they really feel attainable to us right now? And I don't know that they do. Then down here we get the this is this dirty theater coin that belonged to my dad. It says tails you lose. It's a woman's butt on there. And so, and then this not likely was kind of sitting right here. What I want to say is I feel like there might be too much going on right now, or too much on your immediate plate, right? The fact that all of this is crowded into the center here makes me a little bit, it makes me feel a little bit claustrophobic in a weird way. And with the devil kind of flipped over underneath there, it kind of feels like the pressure could be like either building or mounting. And the fact that he's flipped over where you can't necessarily see him could indicate that, you know, there could be something that you don't see coming, or something that could surprise you, where I don't think you'll act out, or not act out, but, you know, like, how do I want to put this? Like, the devil's not necessarily a great card, right? We don't ever really want to see the devil. He challenges us in ways that can be sort of a real pain in the ass. And so when I see him hiding in there and everything else going on, to me, I feel like the goal is good as far as what we want, which to me would be the star, this peace, healing, everything to kind of come together. But are we really going about it in the best way possible? That's kind of the feeling. Like, I don't know if maybe we're getting too much, or doing too much right now. That we're possibly like overloading ourselves and opening the door for a situation where like sort of the devil could come in, right? And show us where we've, you know, how do I want to say this? Like, where we've not screwed it up, but like where we overdid it, and where we sort of like bared our Achilles heel in a way. Because he's going to want to exacerbate that if he gets in, but he's not necessarily in just yet, right? But I feel like he's kind of hovering in the background, or this situation that it could be anything, right? The devil could be like a shitty situation, or some interaction with somebody that's like, you know, not good, and we act out in a way that doesn't serve us. It could be any of that sort of stuff, because we're stressed, or we're overly worried, or we're wait, I can't tell if it's old anxieties, or by trying to let those anxieties go, I've stopped using enough discernment. I think, let me see here. I feel conflicted about whether I'm shooting myself in the foot by taking on all the things I'm taking on. I think you could be. Biz, farm, and all the responsibilities. I can't tell if it's old anxieties or if I'm trying to let those anxieties go. I've stopped using enough discernment. Okay, so here's the thing. I do think that there's like, if you're taking on, I feel like you are taking on a lot right now. And I feel like it's all very immediate and needs you now. That's why it's all here in the center. I feel like there is an opportunity here for you to overload. That's the devil. That is also this tails you lose down here. I don't like her. Like, I don't mind that she's here, but I think it's kind of funny that she's sitting down here by herself in the subconscious. So, and this not likely also kind of has a negative connotation to it, to me too, which makes me feel like, is this really bringing you about the peace and the healing that you want? Is there a way to like parse this stuff out and move these things out? This, to me, could be old anxieties, this 5 of Pentacles. It was flipped over. So are we taking on all of these things out of a need to avoid repeating, you know, financial things or setbacks that we've experienced in the past? That could be something that's going on. But what I will say is I feel like you do have like sort of guides and angels around you trying to kind of calm the situation. You have Marita's support, right? But Marita might be a little bit cuckoo and all this too. only because that 2 is turned upside down for both of you. So I feel like maybe both of you might be taking on a lot. And I think that it's affecting the home. The cat is upside down, and I think that that's sort of the basis of all of this. Where, sorry, my dog's snoring. If everything that you're taking on, are you feeling good about it, right? And if you're not, then you could potentially be taking on too much. Oh, thank you, Tammy. So, and I think that underneath this is the 7 of Pentacles, right? That was also flipped over, which to me, that's not a bad card. It talks about, or not a bad coin, that talks about sort of like the concept behind the 7 of Pentacles is about through dedication and hard work, you know, you will reap the rewards. You will gain the sort of the harvest. But the thing is it's kind of like you want to do it in a way that's productive or that is patient, nourishing, that sort of a thing, so that you're not burning yourself out. Because if you can't get to that reward, then what was the point, kind of thing? Does that make sense? And so this being under here, it's almost like these both were like flipped over like this. So it's kind of like, are we running ourselves ragged already? When we can be sort of more methodically, like taking it piece by piece, like the 7 of Pentacles would indicate. And if we are doing that, are we potentially opening up the door for a situation where we could have a rude awakening? And that's kind of what I think that's trying to say. Like when I look at all of this, it feels like the immediacy of all of this feels like pressure to me. Like however many irons you have in the fire, is there a way to space them out or take a little bit more of a like a methodical approach to it versus biting off so much all in one bite that you could potentially, you know, overdo it or gas out yourself in a way, right? And I don't know what's up with Marita, but whatever they've got going on, I think I think that they have their own scenarios and things that they're juggling too, that one of like I almost want to say one of you needs to be the stable one here. And this doesn't feel unstable, it just feels like chaotic or overwhelming. Part of the challenge is that too many of them are time sensitive or have time sensitive pressures. That's why everything is crowded right here. That's what makes me feel. So let me ask you this. If you don't do them, do you miss out on the opportunity, or can't space them out? Because I also feel like these scissors are saying something needs to be cut away. That's just kind of my feeling, is that if you can, because it's not likely sitting on top of everything kind of makes me feel like it may not be likely that you bring all of this stuff in successfully in a way. Some of them we can't space out. Part of the challenge, yeah. And they're sort of intertwined too. That's why we have this couple here and the 2 of Cups. So both of you are sort of shouldering this chaotic stuff. I would say bring in more of that 7 of Pentacles energy than that Devil energy. Does that make sense? Marita, after Rose is Tracy. But you can go after Tracy if you want. The methodical pacing, right? I think the best thing to do in all this, I think that there's a couple of good things. Like, let's just talk about what's working here, and let's do a little bit of like rearrange, because we'll talk about rearranging the energy through the charms. So first off, this not likely I don't really like, so I'm going to move that over here and get that out of the picture for now. We have the Seven of Pentacles right here in the center. If we flip it over, right, which this is about patience, hard work, being grounded, earth energy, being connected to what you're doing, making a conscious choice to bring it in and bring it in a smooth, functional manner, right? We have the domestic cat, which is sort of like the basis of yours and Rita's, like home, love, the kittens, like both real and, you know, metaphorical, right? But that's there, and that's sort of the formulation for all of this, or the foundation for all of this. The scissors I'm going to leave there because I kind of think that that's a message that maybe if there's places to cut things away, I would take advantage of that if there's places to do that. If there's not, then you have to figure something else out. But I think that you can with this Seven of Pentacles energy, but we need to draw that energy forward and make that our focus, right? And then when we take this, your dreams are attainable, I just want to put that upright because that is a good message, and it is face up. So it's saying to us, and it's also on that green color that's associated with this guardian angel, which is Raphael. He's the guardian angel of healing. And I like that he's here. He's kind of watching over all of this, trying to help sort it out if he can. I want to take this and flip this over just upright. It's face up. So this is, in my opinion, the Two of Cups is a significant, you know, bonded relationship. That would be you and Marita also, again, in the center of all of this, in the focus, emotionally connected, trying to make this work. And then we have the star here. The star is turned upside down slightly, but it is face up. This is the piece that we want, and that, like, what our higher self or our higher aspiration is. So these three right here, as just a combination, are like totally beautiful, in sync, and in line, right? Let's put that cat right underneath them, right? So that to me is like a beautiful connection there, right? We have this Five of Pentacles. That is something that probably is never going to go away for anybody, quite frankly. Five of Pentacles could be financial setback, worry, fear of that sort of a thing. But it is flipped over. So to me, that feels like, you know, that could be anxieties of the past. That could be worries of the future. That's maybe not even here yet or an actual reality, but it's something that's kind of we're trying to avoid by taking on a whole bunch of stuff. And then that's still somewhere on the plate, and we've got that burning in the back burner, right? The Devil, I'm not too keen on him there, but I kind of feel like he's not quite here yet, right? He has Capricorn energy. He's going to be the thing where we act out on our worst behavior. If we're under a lot of stress, that kind of a thing, I think that's where the Devil sort of rears his ugly head. We, you know, end up maybe fighting or with each other, or with like, I don't know, some person we need to do business with, a neighbor, whatever that is. That's how the Devil comes into all of this. But I don't think that the Devil has to come into this. I think that he's sort of more towards the future. Like, he's not here yet, but if we're running ourselves ragged, or we're already worried about what it is that we've taken on and how we've taken it on, then I think that there's a way to reassess and like sort of align everything so that you can have you can achieve what you want and not have to experience him. Does that make sense? And I want to take her, because this is it, on this coin, it's got a picture of the woman's butt, right? And it says tails you lose, and on the top it's her, you know, naked from the waist up, and it says heads you win. So this tails you lose, to me, this being down here in this would be like sort of the deep subconscious. This could just be some lurking fear of the future and failing before you even get there, right? And so I just want to acknowledge that, because sometimes when we acknowledge that sort of stuff, we can kind of shift it already, because we go, oh, okay, that's there. So I don't need to entertain that anymore, or I don't need to give that any more energy. Or if I didn't know that that was anything that was in the back of my mind or driving me in any way. I mean, this could be also connected to this, and all of this stuff could be the Devil, right? Which is our fears kind of leading the way. So I think that this has a good, if this makes any sense, Rose, I feel like this reading has a good side to it and a bad side to it. And it's like, depending on how you're perceiving it or looking at it or holding it, dealing with it, is going to be how you're going to experience it. And that's the part that, that's why both the Devil is flipped over and the Seven of Pentacles is flipped over, because we get a choice in how we're kind of going to behave in our pursuit of this peace. And ultimately, we'll probably get there, and it's just how long and how painful do we want the ride to be. And I'm not saying that it has to be painful. I just feel like if we go this route where the Devil gets involved, or we get to that place where all the wheels fall off and we're feeling aggravated, then that's when he gets to rear his ugly head, and that's when it can get potentially unpleasant. All right, so do you want me to clear? Tracy, are you still here? So I'm going to clear this, because if I can get... Let me see if Tracy, because I know Tracy's all the way in Australia, so I want to make sure she's still there, because I don't even know what time it is there right now. She might have gone off to work, because I think it's Monday for her. Yeah, Tracy, we can do that. Do you mind holding for one moment and let me do a charming for Marita really quick while I have the board open, and then I'll do you last with cards and I'll close the board up. Is that okay? Do you mind waiting a few more minutes while I do Marita's charming really quick? Since I have the board open, I don't mind doing cards for you. I just, since Marita has to go in a half an hour for a call, I would like to get them their charming. Do you mind waiting one more time? It's 5:30 in the morning. I knew you were far away. Do you mind just letting Marita step in front of you for a moment? Because it'll be quick. I mean, ideally, I do get a little long-winded, but Marita has to be on a call in 30 minutes. Okay, cool. So Marita, you're here. Tracy's gonna hold, and I'm gonna do a card reading for her after I do your charming. Marita says, I think you guys can read each other's comments. You're all on Facebook, right? Okay, cool. Do you have an area you want me to focus, or do you just want general? Okay. Should you hire someone? All right, let's find out. One moment. Let me mark everybody. Marita. And Tracy. Okay, awesome. All right, should Marita hire someone? Okay, the globe went flying off. So you have the globe too, but we'll see what's going on. So we have an L. We have a D. So that would be a number 3. So I think this is Kali. I don't know, but I feel like this is you, Marita, with all the arms, like trying to do everything all at once. This was right here in the sort of the center of everything, trying to juggle a bunch of different projects or whatever. I do like that it feels sort of grounded and under control, although it feels like you might be juggling too much. But I like that this is the charm that tells me that you might need some help. So going forward, we have the strength charm. We have the, when you're grateful for what you have, more will come into your life. Honestly, like what I'm going to say here is I kind of feel like, should you hire someone is the question. I feel like there's probably, the answer is yes. Will you hire someone? I think the answer is no. I think that, and the reason why I'm going to say that right out of the gate, I'm going to just set this right here for right now, is I kind of feel like finding the right person might be a little bit difficult, or finding a person that will do things in the way that you need it done. I feel like the dolphin is telling me that communication is going to be really important between you and whoever this person may be, or you may not be able to find somebody that you're able to communicate with, but nothing I say is set in stone. So just remember that. But I kind of feel like you're sitting here in the center, sort of juggling it all, doing what you can, staying as centered as you can, and you're good at staying busy. Like you're good at sort of managing stuff. I don't get a bad, this doesn't feel as pressured as I felt like Rose's stuff felt like it was all coming in. Where I think the hiring could take place is more in the future, because we have all of these charms going on over here. I feel like they represent potentially the possibility of somebody coming in around that time. So it's not anything that's going to happen right now. We have the, this is, I believe, the third eye chakra. So this is about trusting your intuition. And again, these are flipped over because I think that we're not there yet. And so that's why we haven't gotten there. When you're grateful for what you have, more will come into your life. I think this could be the hiring of somebody. A prayer for, this is a prayer for your pocket. I don't know what that's about. This was my original symbol for Aquarius energy. Aquarius can be about the collective. That would indicate new people maybe potentially coming in. A free thinker, out of the box thinker might be somebody that you need, or that you might need to like find that person that thinks maybe in the same way that you do, or that works that way. The strength card thing to me, I don't know that that means much in this question, really, to be honest. Like it was flipped over like that. Maybe, you know, it'd be great if they were strong. Like, I don't know. But to me, I kind of get this impression that, do I think you should hire somebody? Yes. Do I think that you will? I'm not sure. I don't think that the right person is here yet. I think that they need to be sort of maybe created. I think that they need to be created sort of in your mind's eye, in your prayers, in your sort of thoughts, and then allow them to kind of flow to you in this Aquarian energy. What I do like about this Aquarius symbol, and I'm going to correlate it to something that was going on in Rose's reading, is that star symbol that was up here. That's associated with the sign of Aquarius also. And that was sort of like the highest goal that Rose was looking at, was trying to get that peace and sort of that tranquility and all of that sort of centeredness that comes with the star. So I like that this Aquarian energy shows up again here. It kind of ties back into the other reading for me a little bit. So I don't know how many else people are working with you, but like, it's funny that you have the number 3 here, which kind of makes me think you, Rose, and maybe another hire too. So like hiring somebody else to help. So I think that that's also indicating that somebody could be there. I'm wondering if it's somebody from somewhere else too, like not somebody local. Like maybe that's why this shot out. I don't know why, but when I'm thinking about this, I'm wondering, is there somebody that you know online, like maybe even like somebody from California or somewhere else that you might be able to talk to, that you communicate really well with, that gets it? Like, you know, saying to somebody, hey, who wants a job and wants to live in Hawaii? You know, like put it out that way and see who maybe bites. And that might be some of why the time might take place where you might have to wait for the right person. Do I think that right person will come? I think eventually, yes. And I think that some of these things are about formulating who that right person is to you and Rose, right? Like maybe there needs to be a discussion between the two of you of, okay, so what is it that we need in the right hire, or what is it that you need, certainly. But Rose may be able to help with that a little bit. And I think that they will come. Like, I think that it will show up. I like this Aquarian thing. And I also think that that could tie back into Rose's star tarot coin being that like sort of higher piece that, so if this third party or this person gets hired in and they start to take some of the load away from you, you can maybe then be more of a support to Rose, or vice versa, or they take some of the load from both you and Rose so that both of you can ease and get into that more easeful energy. I think it would be good for both of you. Wait, what are you saying? I was thinking 3 or 4 months maybe. Or maybe next year. Yes, maybe. I guess the idea was not even Hawaii or getting help on farm, but just remote help. Well, that could work. Maybe that's what this is. If it's remote, maybe there's somewhere else in the world. And that's why they're like not there with you. Does that make sense? So maybe there's somewhere else on the planet. They're not like necessarily in Hawaii. I was reading it like bringing somebody in from outside of Hawaii to Hawaii. But if that means finding help remote, that could very much be this world. Seems like if we include everything, we're looking for a unicorn. Totally. But unicorns exist. You know that, right, Marita? Marita, totally unicorns exist. Well, if you can do that remotely, then you should open it up. You can very well find somebody. I think that it's going to be about and maybe that's why the communication of the dolphin, that's why it's sort of important, because they're not going to necessarily be there with you, right? But I get this funny feeling that like you kind of like being at this pace with all of these arms swinging and swaying and staying busy. Like there's a difference between how I feel like Rose's charms were all clustered here. You're like away from you. It's like opposites of both of you have stuff going on and are busy, but the way that it's attracted around you, like you're kind of like, oh, here, let me take this. That's what I get from this deity here. All of these arms flailing and doing a million things at once and like being fine, not fine with the pressure, but in some ways almost like enjoying it. Where Rose is like, let me get these things out of my way. Called out. Totally, it's like 2 different ways of how we work. I just think it's funny. So I think that it's possible. I think that you should hire somebody. I think that that's probably, if it is remote work, then that's why that world is there. Like they can be somewhere else other than right there with you. And if that will take off some of the workload for you, then that's great. And then that allows you to kind of assist Rose or this person. If they can assist Rose too, then that would alleviate some of the stressors there. You're the current hired unicorn. There you go, Rose. I know you've got shit to do too, right? So I hope that makes sense. I think that finding a third person is not a bad idea, and I think that it would work. You're welcome. Enjoy your call. Hopefully it's a job interview for somebody. All right, I'm going to clear this board. All right, Tracy, what did you want? Do you want me to focus on a particular area? I'll give you a choice in cards if you want. You can have either deck number 1 or deck number 2. You get to choose the deck that I work with. And then if you want to give me like a one-word area that you want me to focus on, I will do that for you. Lisa, I saw your request to do your charming. I have to be off soon, so I may not be able to get it done today, but I'll be here like next Sunday. I have to go do something. A friend is doing something at 5:30 that I promised them I would be at. So I have to be off by like 5:20 when it's 4:48 now. General and deck 1, okay. All right, so I want to say hello to sort of like a slightly nervous kind of energy. It feels kind of tight. I don't know if frantic is the right word, but frantic is the word that I want to use. It feels like a little bit intense, moving quickly, tight, like there's not a lot of room. I don't know if that makes sense to you, Tracy. If that like connects with you, like it feels sort of like we don't have a lot of how do I want to describe it? Like room for mistakes or room for choices or changes right now in our life. Like if we choose something, we have to stay with it. Like that's sort of the feeling that I get. It's a kind of like an all or nothing feeling. It feels a little bit intense and kind of slightly uncomfortable, if that makes sense. So I don't know if that is you, but like if that's kind of makes sense. Okay, perfect. I see that. Yes. Okay, good. Because sometimes when I'm shuffling these cards, I'm like, well, this is an interesting feeling. Okay. All right. So this is your center, where you're centered at, right? This kind of gives me indication as to what you might be like, where you're at most of the time right now. Not all of the time, but most of the time. So this is the Knight of Pentacles. So this kind of explains to me a little bit about that tension that I was feeling in the shuffle. The Knight of Pentacles isn't going to budge or move until he wants to. He's usually really slow moving energy. I feel an intensity when I'm shuffling the cards that like feels like, I want to get this done, or I wish I could do that. It might be this frustration of feeling like we can't move, right? Or that we have to be careful with the decisions that we make or the choices that we make right now in our life. The Knight of Pentacles is grounded. It is around, like Pentacles usually is earth energy, so it deals with money, career, things like that. So that could be a focus for you right now. But ultimately, we're being very careful about where we step, how we step, the choices that we make, what we do, and things feel like they might be moving at a pace that we don't necessarily feel like we have a whole lot of freedom or an opportunity to really do what we want to do in the way that we want to do it, or with the freedom that we want to do it with. Does that make sense? I don't think that he's a bad card to have here in the center. I just can understand why we might feel a little bit like exasperated a little bit, like I wish I could move forward or had the freedom to do something faster, but I can't right now for some reason. We'll figure that out in the rest of the cards, but for some reason I'm being extra careful. I'm paying attention to the details. I'm not necessarily moving as quickly as I normally would or I would prefer to, if that makes sense. So this is the foundation card. This card tells me a bit about sort of what was going on in the past, what everything is sort of built on today. It can also be the memory of this card that is kind of driving everything in the reading today. So let's look at this. We have the Page of Pentacles. Okay, so Page of Pentacles is similar to the Knight in the sense that he doesn't know as much as the Knight does, right? When I'm looking at this, there might have been, and I don't know why, but I want to say this is like pre-pandemic, there might have been opportunities for you that you were excited about, that you were getting ready to learn about. They may have been put on hold or put on a pause, where you don't feel as though you can maybe move them forward or get them done. I feel like with the page here, it feels to me like there was a little bit more opportunity, a little bit more newness, a little bit more optimism going on in the past. And at this point, it's not that we're not optimistic, we're just being super cautious or careful in how we do what we do and when we do it. With the Page of Pentacles as the foundation, I'm not bothered with him as the foundation, but I do want to talk about the fact that this is a kind of, could be, I want to see what this card is, but this could be a little bit of a heavy energy, a little bit of maybe we're dealing with feeling like we're dragging or we're not achieving quite as much. I would feel more like there would be more achieving happening if this was like, say, the King or Queen of Pentacles in these positions. This feels like it's moving more at a slower pace. Although in the past, the slower pace didn't bother you as much. You were like apt to want to learn, to expand, to what's the word, like you were excited about it. Right now, I don't know that you're so excited. So let's go to the higher self or spirit card. This tells me what your spirit's looking at or what it wants you to focus on. So this is the Two of Swords. So she's usually a big giant kind of no when I see her. When I'm seeing her in this position though, I want to ask, what decision are you, and this is just a posed question to you, Tracy, just to think about. I want to ask, like, when I'm looking at these three cards all together, what is the thing that you're afraid of going after, or what is the decision that you're not allowed to make? Because I feel like she is also saying, with the Two of Swords, there's always this sort of guardedness, an aspect, like it can represent as a no or an inability to make a choice, that sort of a thing. When I see this up in the spirit space, it's not that your spirit is saying no to you, and it's not that your spirit can't make a choice. It's that your spirit's asking you, why are you not making the choice? Why are you not moving forward? And that's some of that sort of frantic energy or that like tension that I was feeling in the shuffle. There's something going on here that either you're buying your time, like I like with all three of these, there's like a pause that's going on is my feeling. There's this like strange pause that, and I don't mean strange in a bad way. I just sort of feel like there's something that you are not, I don't want to say you're not facing it because that's not what I'm feeling. It's like you are not either able to make the decision or you're maybe fearful of making the decision. Because if you do, I kind of feel like with this Knight in the center here, you want to make sure that you're making the right decision. Knights always do things for sort of the right reason or in servitude in a kind, like, so I know that this is, but this also feels like, I have to be honest, Tracy, this feels a little bit like we're stuck in something that we don't know, like either if or when or how to get out. And we're trying to figure it out. I don't know if that makes sense to you, but I'm going to say that and we'll get into the outside influences really quick. So the outside influences, these are things that are affecting you on the outside. They can be people, events, sometimes belief systems or energies that are having an effect on you. So we have the King of Cups. This could be a water sign, a Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio. This would indicate possibly somebody that would have maybe intense feelings or emotions for you. This would be potentially an older gentleman. This could be like a father, a partner. I don't necessarily get the feeling that this is a boss. This feels more attached to you either through familial ties or romance ties. I almost feel like, I don't know. I'm just going to go with this, Tracy, because we're doing this online and you're all the way in Australia. So I don't know how accurate, this is going to be, but I almost feel like you're turning your back on this person in a way. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but like you might be in the process of making a decision where whoever this person may be, emotionally, they are sort of either attached to you in a way that's kind of inappropriate, or they're feeling for you in a way that you may no longer feel for them, if that makes sense. And you're trying to remain calm and maybe centered and careful about the decisions that you make moving forward. But I don't know that this card feels interested in having a discussion with this card anymore. So let's see what's going on here. We have the Seven of Pentacles, our good friend, the Seven of Pentacles. So this would be about, again, we see more Pentacles energy, right? We're talking about earth energy here. We're talking about the material world. Material world can sometimes signify in relationships, right? But when I look at this, this is about hard work, perseverance, dedication, not quite yet being ready to make that decision again. Like there is this pause going on. There might be, I know this is going to sound crazy, Tracy, but I kind of like the way that I want to interpret these cards is like, if you're planning on splitting out or separating from, say, this person, you may have to put that plan on hold until the timing is right, until like the fruit, like the tree bears fruit, like until the path makes itself clear to you. Now, if this is a boss, or say this is a work situation where it's just too emotionally involved, and I don't mean emotionally involved like romantically, it's just like maybe you've been there for years and you do need to leave, or you're not feeling interested in working for this person because they're being, say, emotionally inappropriate in, whatever this is for you. This feels like somebody that it would be very emotionally connected to you in a way that you maybe are not interested in entertaining anymore. And so I think that there's opportunities for us to find ways out, but we have to be patient. And that's also the patience of this Knight in the center. I will say that there's definitely, like with all of this, there's a little bit of being unsure of which way to go. So let's look at a card for the outcome. Hiring, what's the job? Oh, that's right. Vicky's in Marita. I don't know if Marita's still here, but Vicky's in Hawaii. That's right. So this is the Five of Wands as an outcome. The Five of Wands is the card that I call a whole lot of fuckery. In the sense that it usually is about competition, it's about fighting, it's about sort of colliding. It can be about office politics. It can be about feelings getting hurt. It's the sort of like be careful, you're going to put an eye out card, right? And so it's annoying at best, but it's not sort of a great outcome in the sense that I kind of think that these two people may be no longer mixing well, although maybe in the past they did. And so when I'm looking at this outcome, there could be some fighting. There could be in an effort to maybe move in a different direction. If you choose to do that, once you choose your direction, you could find that you may have to sort of struggle to be able to make that move or that change. That would be the sort of the infighting that I sense in the Five of Wands. I'm not sure. I haven't heard from Tracy yet if any of this is making sense to her. So I hope I'm not totally going down some rabbit hole and she's just like, what the hell is he talking about? Tracy, if you're there, could you confirm any of that? And we have silence. She's saying spot on. Okay. I think that This is not insurmountable as an outcome. It just means that there is a little bit of a fight that may have to take place, or some sort of struggle that may have to take place for you to finally be able to move forward once you make that decision. But you're looking for the right time. You're waiting for the right time, and it will be presented to you. Keep doing the work that you're doing, right? Staying slow and steady on the road, right? As you're doing it. The Knight of Pentacles is not a bad card. It's just a very methodical, planned out, careful card. And with the Page of Pentacles down here, it's also, again, we've got that sort of earthy energy of like moving slowly, not being so sure, wanting to make sure that we're going to move in the right direction at the right time. All of this is like a kind of like a please hold, right? Like that what I'm seeing with these three cards. But you're waiting, and this person is kind of feels like they're breathing down my neck a little bit. Like their intensity, they're asking for an answer or asking for a result or asking for a decision. And your decision, you've already know what it is ultimately, I think. But you maybe haven't made it completely clear to them for fear of hurting them. And you probably are aware that this sort of fighting or whatever this energy is that is going to have to come about for the changes to take place is imminent. And so you're just trying to spare people or those involved until it really gets down to it, is my feeling. So I hope that makes sense. I don't think that it's necessarily a bad thing. I'm going to clarify that Five of Wands. We have the Ace of Swords. So again, this is this decision that we're holding off on making, or that we're like avoiding making right now. We already kind of know the answer. We're pretending like it doesn't exist. This is the actual clarity of that decision, the truth and the honesty that comes out in the future. We may have to like argue around it or fight around it, but the truth will not like be denied, so to speak. The Moon, which would be like sort of a little bit, that could be a little bit emotional, a little bit convoluted. It can be very much subconscious energy. Sometimes it's associated with confusion, but I don't feel like there's confusion there because we have this Ace of Swords. We may have, this person might be a little bit confused, and that could be their Moon card. Then we have the Seven of Swords. That's usually like the liar, cheater, stealer. Like whatever is going on, I don't know if that's this person over here. It very well could be, but whatever's going on, there's not, like to me, this feels like a fight between the truth and what somebody's trying to get away with. Like there could be a little bit of gaslighting going on even here with that Moon and the Seven of Swords. Like, if they try and gaslight you or try and sort of turn something into like your fault or whatever, stay with your truth. Your truth needs to reign supreme in all of this. And I think that you know that already. And that's why you're being careful about whatever it is that you are doing and the decisions that you are making moving forward. Because when you do make the decision, I kind of feel like it will be firm and final. Although they may try and throw up smoke screens or lie to you or confuse you in some way, shape, or form. And that might create the chaos of this Five of Wands, right? But fives are always transitory. They're not like going to stick or stay. It's only a temporary thing that goes on. Oh, Raven, I'm about to sign off. I'm sorry. I'm not doing any more readings. This is my last one for the evening. But you're more than welcome to like the business page and follow it. And then when I'm back on, you can join us on another night. But I have to get off because I have something I have to do at 5:30. Hi, Kelly. How are you? So that's what's going on there. I hope that makes sense, Tracy. Things will be fine. There's probably a little bit of like a, an uncomfortable phase that's going to happen, but you already kind of know that with this Knight in the center. You already are aware of that and are trying to, how do I want to say this, like circumvent it as best you can by kind of keeping your cool right now. And you will. You're welcome, Raven. Yeah, I feel like the Seven of Swords is that this person here. I feel like somewhere in all of this, like they might be a little bit maybe manipulative, or they have manipulated you in the past, certainly possibly emotionally, and here they're sort of maybe still doing a bit of the same, trying to like confuse you in a way or something. But I don't know that they will necessarily, because like in that case, I actually like the Five of Wands, because it means that, oh good, Tracy's gonna put up a fight. She's not gonna just like, you know, believe anything that they say, kind of thing. That's the feeling that I get from that run of cards there. All right, you guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I am gonna run off because I gotta get the dogs out before I go do this thing. And I will see you guys all soon. Let me flip this back. God knows what my hair looks like. I've been running my hands through my hair. Could look like Death eating a cracker. All right, I'm going to go. But thank you so much for tuning in. For all of you that purchased Charmings or who support me over on Patreon and picked up your Charmings, thank you so much. Lisa, I will do, if you're, I don't know if you're still watching, you probably aren't, but I will do your Charming for you next week or any other Sunday. You know how it works. Or any time I'm live and I'm on, you know, you can ask. It's fine. And that same goes for Vicky and anybody else. I will see you guys soon. All right. I'm going to go do this thing. And I will talk to you guys later. Okay. Thank you and have a great night. And take care. Bye-bye.